take a look at our best groom horse now. Bahana, of course, a previous winner of the Gold Cup. He's a horse that has been struggling to put his best foot forward, but he gets the award today of the best groom horse. A horse that's definitely not without support. We are 5 minutes out here from the big one, the Singapore Gold Cup at Group 1 level, of course, proudly sponsored by Dester beer. Lim Sao Mong, the owner of Dester, is currently here on track. King Louis, 1 minute out from the Gold Cup. They won't be too far away from loading away for the big one of the Group 1 Dester Singapore Gold Cup. It just appears that Bahana is where the problem lies at the moment, and the farrier will soon attend to him. Might see if we can cross out to Nick Child if he's with us. He's behind the start, I'm led to believe.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Just a bit of an update on Bahana. It's a near four. One of the clenches has come loose on his near four plate. So Craig Williams having jumped off. The farrier just getting to work on him now. So all should happen very imminently. It's just a case of tapping that clench and that nail back on and clenching it up, and then we'll be good to go with Bahana. But he's a good old stick. He knows what this is all about, so certainly not turning a hair. But as you can see behind me, the horse is in pretty good form. Mark Lerner just going through the shot there on Makanani. She looks very well. Sun Marshall again, as I say, getting a bit warm. So too Super Dynasty, getting a little bit hot as well. And you can see those new colours on King Louis, number 5.
King Louis returned to the winner's circle after over a year away from it. All these questions will be answered very shortly as runners are starting to come forward. Blue Swede goes in. He's the first one to load away. He's previously run incredibly well in the race. They are starting to come forward at the 2,000 metres. This is race number 9. This is the Group 1 Dester Singapore Gold Cup. As we cross up for the call to Luke Marlowe, the voice of Singapore racing for the Group 1 Dester Singapore Gold Cup.
Thanks very much, Dan. This is the one we've been waiting for, the Gold Cup. Set for the Singapore Gold Cup. Attendants about to clear the barrier. Here we go. Off and racing now. I'm Incredible got a clean start. Blue Swede goes back shortly after the start, as does Star Emperor, and Sacred Choir fired out of the gates. He's up there contesting the lead early. Elite Invincible being sent forward, and it's a wall of about 6 runners into the first turn as Super Dynasty drives up as well. Into the first turn, Super Dynasty rails through and takes the lead from Makanani. Sun Marshall moving up 3 wide, Elite Invincible deeper out. Super Dynasty will now hand up. He's 4th the inside. I'm Incredible's looking to try and tuck in 5th placing when they go into the back straight. Then Sacred Choir, Real Success, Predator midfield, followed by Mr. Clint and King Louis. He's over on the inside, about 10 off the lead, and looks to have settled well mid-race. Followed by Bahana, Count of Monte Cristo, Blue Swede, Gold Strike, Star Emperor, and Yabba Dabba Doo is last of all, about 18 lengths off the leader, which is last year's winner, Elite Invincible. He leads by 1 length. I'm Incredible worked across to be second. Then Makanani, Super Dynasty, 4th the inside. Sun Marshall's got the back of I'm Incredible as they leave the 1,000 metre mark behind them. Then came Real Success. Sacred Choir gets a nice run, 1 off the rail with cover. Mr. Clint's posted deep. He's starting to track forward outside of Predator. Then came Bahana. King Louis in an awkward spot. He's looking to try and shift off the inside pike. Then Count of Monte Cristo, Gold Strike. Further back was Blue Swede, Star Emperor, and Yabba Dabba Doo. The field bunching right up now in the Gold Cup. They make the swing. 500 metres to go, and I'm Incredible turning it on here. Mr. Clint's moved to second the outside. Elite Invincible under pressure, followed by Bahana. Gold Strike, Count of Monte Cristo got to the outside, then Real Success. As they reach the 300, Mr. Clint goes for home now. I'm Incredible's trying to fight back. Sacred Choir into the clear. Further back was Gold Strike, King Louis. Yabba Dabba Doo late with Count of Monte Cristo. Mr. Clint's tired. Gold Strike and Count of Monte Cristo trying to get to him. Mr. Clint needing the line. Gold Strike, Count of Monte Cristo, but Mr. Clint, what a week for Craig Williams. 2 continents, 2 cups. He wins it on Mr. Clint. Gold Strike ran second. 3rd in might be Count of Monte Cristo. He ran a beauty, and so too did Yabba Dabba Doo. He's run out of his skin. Real Success close up, then I'm Incredible. Sacred Choir, King Louis, Bahana. Further back was Makanani, Super Dynasty, Predator, Elite Invincible, Sun Marshall, and Blue Swede at the tail of the field. Mr. Clint has done it. Craig Williams for Lee Friedman. What a week he's had, Craig. He won the Melbourne Cup on Tuesday on Vow and Declare. He won 3 races on Oaks Day. Also won the Group 1 Cantala on Fierce Impact. And a Manicato on Loving Gabby, all in the last 2 weeks. He's one of the informed jockeys of the world at the moment, Craig Williams. And he pulls off a master stroke here with Mr. Clint. He made the early move, put him in the race, and he outstayed them. Gold Strike, a sensational run second. Barron Vorster, Cliff Brown, third in one, Count of Monte Cristo. He's run another blinder. And fourth is a photo. Yabba Dabba Doo, wide out, looks prominent. A few horses in that race running out of their skin for the minor placings, all at long odds. Numbers are coming up. 8, 13 and 1. 8, 13 and 1. Fourth is number 16 after the running of the Singapore Gold Cup. Nick Child is out on the track and he'll shortly catch up with Craig Williams, but we'll go down to Dan first.
Thanks, Luke. Waiting upon Lee Freeman, the winning trainer, to make his way down. I'd have to say we would have watched it from up on level 3, so he may take some time to come down, Lee Freeman, but what a year. He took out the Derby with Sun Marshall. He's now taken out the Gold Cup with Mr. Clint, a horse that has had a luckless preparation. He's been knocking on the door, and he's come to the fore on grand final day, and that's where it counts, and that's why he's the master, Lee Freeman. And what a ride from Mr. Clint, from Craig Williams on Mr. Clint. Absolutely outstanding. He put him in the race, pulled up 3 wide. He knew the horse was underneath him, and he's proven too strong here. Gold Strike, fantastic in defeat. And what a race that Count of Monte Cristo has run as well into 3rd placing. But Lee Freeman still taking his time to come down from level 3. We'll catch up with him very shortly as the winner returns, Mr. Clint. And of course, Craig Williams will soon make his way over to Nick Child. He's taking his while to come back as well, the horse though, so might wander up and catch Lee. I can see him right now. Lee Freeman, of course, last year's champion trainer here in Singapore. And he's won the Derby and the Gold Cup. Lee, congratulations. You won the Derby, you've won the Gold Cup, and you're a master for a reason, getting horses like this ready on grand final day.
Well, look, he turned his form around, in the lead-ups, and then, of course, everyone knows he had that setback before the last race, and I thought the ride was appalling. That's why I changed jockeys, and thank God I did, because this guy could walk on water this week.
He certainly could, and of course he's had a luckless preparation, Lee. We know that in so many of the features throughout his career, since the Guineas, obviously, he's been knocking on the door, and he's finally done it here, and as you said, a master stroke from Craig Williams.
Well, you never say a horse deserves anything, because I don't think you deserve anything in racing. You go out and get what you can get. Thanks, mate. You just showed us what a good horse he can be.
Very well done, Lee. Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Lee Freeman, winning trainer. Nick Child, you're with the winning rider, I'm led to believe, Craig Williams.
Yeah, very shortly I'll be joined by Craig. He's taking his time to come back, and rightly so, you'd say, for the moment. What a week it's been for this man, Craig Williams. He's won a Melbourne Cup, his first Melbourne Cup, and a first for an Australian bred for a very long time, and it gave the man on top, I know, much pride in being able to do that, to add to a collection of big race trophies. He got the big 4 now, and this horse has won the Gold Cup, a horse that always promised so much. He was winner of the Group 1 Guineas. He's run some big races in defeat in Group 1s, and Craig Williams, 1 ride, 1 win. I'm sure he'd be happy with his day's work as he wanders across to join me. Craig, very, very well done. You don't mind getting on flights to Singapore?
No, not at all. It's been a very lucky place for me. Full credit's got to go today to Lee Freeman. The owner's given me the opportunity to come over to ride him. His stable's prepared him really well, and gee, his racing manager, very professional. And even his foreman who led me out the track, make sure big circles, boss, make sure you keep him nice and smooth. And obviously we're not successful in these big Group 1s unless they've got the right team behind them, and Lee Freeman definitely has. And we had a great competitor in this fella today. We know he likes softer ground. We didn't get that today. And I'm very fortunate that my wife's here with me today. My parents are looking after our other children. And I'd like to thank Vlad Jurek. Before I ever accepted a ride in Singapore, I asked him, and he told me if I wasn't on my horse, I'd be on yours. And he got me the ride on Bandana when I ran a couple of years ago, so I'm indebted to one of my best mates. We drove each other. We were both apprenticed to my father at the same time. No wonder he's champion jockey here, and he'll do it again, and I've got a lot of love for Vlad and his family.
So very well said, Craig. Enjoy the moment. Well done again.
Thanks.
Craig Williams wins a 2nd Gold Cup. That was an absolute masterstroke, and well, Lee Freeman, he can walk on water, were his comments, Dan, and this week he's certainly proving just that. Craig Williams just weighing in. John Laxton's just joined me. John, no father here today, but you're representing and a big win. Well done.
Oh, yeah, he's been such a fantastic horse, Mr. Clint, over several years. Dad got him out of the ready-to-run New Zealand bloodstock sales, and every time over ground, he's just been so genuine.
And where is father today, the 9 times champ?
I suspect he's at the beach in Whitianga, probably had a good catch of fish, and hopefully he's enjoying this one back there in New Zealand.
I'm sure he is, and well done you.
Thank you very much.
Well done to John Laxton then. His father, Laurie, owns a share in Mr. Clean. He's just won the Gold Cup. Let's get the replay and the result very shortly. Craig Williams receiving the congratulations here after winning our feature this afternoon. It now gives me great pleasure to invite Mr. Kenneth Lowe to present the trophies for the Dester-sponsored Singapore Gold Cup for 2019. And it's been won, as I've mentioned, by number 8, Mr. Clint, in the colours of the Oscar Racing Stable. And representing that stable here this afternoon, John Laxton. John, the son of Laurie Laxton, who was a standing dish here in Singapore, 9 times a champion trainer. And John receiving the trophy on behalf of the winning owners, the Oscar Racing Stable. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a champion trainer, and he's a champion trainer for a reason. Please give him a big round of applause, Mr. Lee Friedman. Lee Friedman, who's won nearly every big prize possible and wins the Gold Cup here in Singapore, having been crowned champion trainer last year, and a lovely trophy as well going to Lee, a man obviously famed with Melbourne Cup success. And last but by no means least, that the man that has now etched his name into Melbourne Cup history and a second Dester Singapore Gold Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Williams. Craig, who's got a massive fan base here, and many of them here to support him this afternoon, and a lovely trophy going back with Craig, having ridden the Gold Cup winner, Mr. Clint, here this afternoon. So many thanks indeed. Thank you, Mr. Lowe, for conducting our prize presentation, and many congratulations to the winners of Mr. Clint, the Oscar Racing Stable, Lee Friedman and Craig Williams, who have taken out our feature race here this afternoon. Mr. Clint wins the Gold Cup for 2019. I'd now like to ask you all to gather for a group photograph after the running of the Dester Singapore Gold Cup for 2019.